everybody? Today we're going to talk about some Happy Chaos zoning. The zoning for HC is very good still. It is still a very, very good win condition. However, I do want to say you want to learn the whole character, right? Do not rely on the zoning, especially this season where it's a little bit worse. And if you do learn the whole character, you know, it makes the zoning even more scary, especially when the opponent knows you can convert your combos, you have good defense, have good footsies. So definitely learn the whole character. Another thing is the zoning is still very effective on some characters. Your mileage is going to vary. I'm going to put a tier list, quote unquote, on the screen, which will kind of visually see what characters are very weak against the zoning, what characters are very strong against it. And of course, this can change depending on the player. If the player uses someone like Geo or Chip but doesn't know how to dash block, doesn't matter how good the character is at getting in, you're still going to lose because if they can't dash block, you can't beat the zoning, right? Even in Season 2, you can't dash block, you can't beat the zoning. Another big thing is Curse in this version, right? Curse was extremely powerful, especially old version where it doesn't take as much health, but in Season 2, it takes a lot of health from you. So I would recommend not using it all the time. I would only use it against certain characters. Mainly against like Nago or Gold Lewis or even like Jacko maybe. I definitely don't use it as much in the zoning as I used to. So just because of the health it takes away from you. So it's one of the big changes for the zoning besides the concentration. Let's talk about that, right? So the concentration in this game now, depending on how far you are, or the distance basically, it will deplete less or more. So if you're really far away, it depletes really quickly. If you're really close, it depletes very slowly, right? So obviously this promotes you to be very close with Happy Chaos now, but if you play your cards right and your zoning is very good, you could still maintain the distance and refill your resources and maintain, you know, pretty good zoning. Even against good players, right? The best thing for the zoning is obviously having bar, so you can do super focus. Super focus is going to definitely negate a lot of that loss of concentration when you're far away. So if your main goal in the zoning is not to be without bar, right? You want to at least be close or at least have 50%. So when your opponent closes on you, you could at least do sequences like this, where on block you can set up the curse, you can use an extra bullet and gain all your resources back, so then eventually you can shoot them again, get your bullets back, and then your zoning starts all over again, right? So having a 50 bar is incredibly important for the zoning. So what are the things you need to do in order to obviously get the zoning, right? You need to know how to do Guard Crush loops. That's like a huge thing, right? I mean, if you can't do the Guard Crush loops, you can't zone. It's just, it is what it is, right? You need to know how to do these. The easiest way to practice these is just set the character with full concentration, right? Infinite. And just literally practice the timing. The timing isn't very hard. If you practice like 10-20 minutes a day, you'll get it pretty quickly. It's much easier than his actual combos. Doing the Guard Crush zoning is probably like one of the easiest things to do with him, in my opinion. And then you want to mix it up with like obviously doing Guard Crush, practicing inputting that 214S or 214 punch, right, to get the focus. Like, so you can do stuff like this, right, or do stuff like this. Right, set up the full resources. Another big thing is mixing up your Guard Crush shots with your normal shots. So like, for example, would be like this, right? Let's say I'll try to zone him out. If he is very good at dash blocking, you want to be able to mix up the Guard Crush and the regular shot, because if they are constantly going for that Guard Crush timing on their dash block, and you hit them with a normal shot, they will very likely get hit. This is like one of the big ways to get people to get hit, especially if they're really good against HC. You want to be mixing up that Guard Crush and regular crush, or regular shot, right? Especially when you have Curse on them. It's very easy to transition into both. because the curse obviously puts the reticle on them much quicker. If I didn't have curse on them, to realign the shot takes way longer, right? So like this, so watch, right? If I do this, you see how like how long it takes me to realign, and especially it's random too. So if you're gonna be doing this, it's much faster to have curse on them to get that, like, to cycle between guard crush and normal shot. Another big thing is you definitely want to not end your zoning with no resources, right? So when you're doing your zoning, you want to try to end. If you're gonna end the zoning, you want to end with a guard crush shot and reload to at least 2 bullets. You want at least having 2 bullets so you can convert off of all your stuff, right? Without 2 bullets, you can't get his normal, like, really good conversions. And then you definitely want to have at least some concentration left, right? Most characters cannot punish you, especially from like this distance. And you do shot focus, right? There isn't really any character that can punish you. Even from like over here, you're pretty much safe to end the zoning here and get focus back. So then you kind of just play the neutral game normally, right? Try to get curse on them so you can reinitiate the zoning, right? And last thing is, if they are really getting close to you, you definitely want to know your spacing for your 2S and your far slash. It's going to come into play a lot, especially against good players. So you don't want it to be in a situation where you're just like rapidly shooting and you're just like trying to scramble for the zoning. You don't want to force the zoning, right? It's very good, but especially Season 2, there's going to be a time where you're going to have to get that focus back. You're going to have to reload some bullets. You're not going to be able to completely outzone them the entire game because you're going to need to use focus a lot more in this version. Let's talk about round start, right? So round starts... Let's start the audition. The obvious classic would be just doing curse on them, right? And then you can just do a quick shot focus or quick shot reload, right? That's like the very easy thing to do. Most players are not ready for it. Even if they are ready, the recovery on curse is pretty quick, so like the likelihood of you being able to punish them if they air dash at you or if they try to realize and try to approach you really quickly, you can easily just like do curse and then like try to hit them with 2S if they're trying to approach you, like because curse recovery is very quick. Let's start the audition. Another big thing is doing a sequence like this, which is like 2S. Right, you build up your focus back to almost full. And then they have curse on them, which means you could obviously shoot them, get your bullets back, and get the zoning off that way. You can do it off a far slash too. Obviously, do the shot afterwards. But that's some decent way to create space off of the round start. Another big thing, especially if you're in neutral, let's say the round start doesn't work out for you, but you're trying to get the zoning. Having curse in neutral is very good because obviously it's very safe, and also it makes them decide whether to jump or to air dash back or do whatever to avoid the curse. And if they have curse on you, this move basically becomes an extended footsie because of how fast it is to get the shot off. You're very likely to catch them trying to run in on you or trying to press a button or air dashing. And if they get hit, obviously you can create space and then do the zoning like that. Obviously the goal zoning, right? You definitely want to have that bar so you can do your concentration, super focus, and then get started, right? So that's the main goal. The main goal is to have that bar so you can just constantly guard crush and have resources. The other big thing is your supers, right? You definitely do not want to do this unless you're going to kill, right? Do not do this unless you're going to kill. This is low-key not worth it. You could put curse on them after, but the better solution or the better thing to do with your bar is do this. Because at this point, you do use 3 bullets, but you can immediately shoot again, get your bullets back, and now you have full resources and curse on them. If it's not going to kill. If it's going to kill, do Deus Ex Machina. Like, at that point, just do it, right? But if it's not going to kill, you're better off doing super focus to use the bar. If you want to kill or you want to get wall break, right? Another option is doing something like this, where let's say they're close to the corner, right? But they're not exactly at the wall, and you want to do a guard crush, or you want to do a wall break. Sorry, let me back up a little bit. You could do something like this, where you could roll forward. Basically what I did was shoot him, right? And then, so if I shoot, roll to create the extra space to make them move forward, so then the wall appears on them, and then just shoot, and then do Deus Ex Machina, right? If you want to get the wall break or if you want to kill. It's hard to see, obviously, because he's so high into the air, but I don't know if I can... It's hard to show, but if they're close to the corner but not exactly, you can roll and then do an extra shot to get the wall break to happen. But that's pretty much it for the zoning. That's all you want to know. Obviously, definitely take the time to learn the guard crush shots. If you are playing Happy Chaos and you don't know how to do them, you're going to want to use them. And then also be ready to play footsies, right? You can't use the zoning all the time. Like I mentioned, there's definitely some characters and players that are going to be very good against the zoning, and some players and characters that are going to be very bad against it. So, you know, your mileage will vary, but the zoning is there, very, very powerful. Hopefully this helps you out if you're learning Happy Chaos, and I'll see you in the next one.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。